Hello everyone and welcome back to the GT Sport League here at Gavra Racing. Apologies about the delay, but I actually didn't plug my mic in. That's embarrassing. Hopefully my audio is working. I'm just going to give it a quick check. And it is working. But hello, welcome back to the Group A GT Sport side of the league. We're here for round number 9 at Brands Hatch for the penultimate race in Group 4 before we adventure off into Group 3. We're here for this beautiful circuit at Brands Hatch, located in the UK. It's 2.45 miles long. The longest straight takes up 0.3 miles of the total 2.45. Elevation change is a total of 114.8 foot, and only 9 corners make up this track. So definitely looks like, well, judging by the lap times as well, you'd think they had been more corners. It's actually, you know, roughly the same amount as Austria. Oh, hello, Ted. Unfortunately, we've got a full lobby, so there's not much room for you to join. But currently, we've got Toussaint, who's put it on provisional pole position. Tim, so close, 500ths behind him. Manuel, though, in 3rd place, 5/10ths behind the front two, all on the medium tyres, I believe. And yes, all 15 drivers on the medium tyres. Ted was supposed to, or said he was going to do commentary, then he backed out at the last minute. So he got an extra driver in the form of Jetsi, currently down in 10th place. 2.1 seconds off provisional pole, up to the line. Does improve by 9/10ths, goes up into 7th place, only a tenth and a half behind Play Dutchy. So a good lap from him. Does actually run wide at turn 1 and is unable to keep the car in a straight line. Does he keep it out of the barrier? Just about. There's a fair bit of runoff here at Brands Hatch. Bon Evil moves his way up into 4th place. Dutchy moves his way up into 3rd behind Tim and to Saint Piero, who's been showing some really good pace in practice. Currently in 8th place, Holland Campion replacing the absent Thunder 50/50. Currently in 12th place, running the same livery he did last week in Brazil for the sprint race concept at Interlagos. Manix Anders, hello in the chat, saying predicting a Dutchy win. I think that's what we can pretty much expect from a lot of these races. But it's going to be definitely an interesting track, because we've done it in Season 2, I think we've done this track, in Group 3. And that was an awesome race. So in these slower cars, with the different tyre compounds and strategy available, this could be an awesome race. Back then, when we were in Group 3 for this track, we had a 4-way fight for the lead at one point between Tiger, Toussaint, Play Dutchy and RNG, who's unfortunately no longer a part of the league, but provided some great racing. So here tonight, hopefully it should do the same thing. We have Dutchy currently leading this massive long train of 13 cars, well, technically 12 behind him. 2 of them are making their way through the 2nd and 3rd sector. Let's see what Dutchy can do up to the line. He's coming down to 29.9, does a 29.3, and goes on to provisional pole position. Toussaint's into the pits from the mediums, has bumper damage. I wonder if there was contact with someone. Could be Dan Schneider, seeing as he was apologising at something in the chat. A lot of drivers coming into the pits for a fresh set of medium tyres. A reminder to those potential new viewers that tyre rules for this season. We have the softs, mediums and super softs available for the race, and whatever tyre you do in quali is a tyre you start the race on. So you can put a fresh set on, but you can't change from mediums to softs and then pursue on to set a faster lap time. Dutchy, though, is pursuing on to set a faster lap time. However, he has stayed on the medium compound of tyres as per the rules say. He has lost a little bit of time down the straight, though. This track consists of 4 sectors. You can see the 3 lines on the map, the 4th one being the start-finish straight. You've got one after turn 2, one after turn 4, one after turn 4, technically, at the end of the straight before turn 5, and one before turn 8. Dutchy is 600ths on purple, but he's taken a interesting line through the penultimate corner. You can see others have followed him. You can see the tracks and the markings that have gone off turn 8, but I don't think he's going to improve, and he's going to come into the pits. I think everyone behind us on outlap. Finn and Manuel, I don't think, are on outlaps. They seem to be slipstreaming each other in their Renault Meganes. It's going to be interesting to see what those Renaults are like here, because obviously it's a medium speed track for these cars especially. They're their cars work well in acceleration, not so much rallying, as I think Finn was trying to prove to us there. His teammate, who is on an outlap, goes through. Wiggly Star improves, goes up into 10th place, only 100th behind Piero, running in 9th place. So the top 10 pretty much separated by a second. Jetsy replacing no one technically tonight, because we have a free spot. Why not get an extra driver? More drivers is better, of course. Currently in 11th place, not doing too badly, and actually set fairly competitive lap time. The fastest lap is set by Play Dutchy, your championship leader, on 236 points. Tiger Assassin in second place on 175, 25 points clear of his teammate Toussaint, who is 13 points ahead of Tim. Finn, Bonnie, Piero, Dan Schneider, Manuel, Wiggly, Aston, Rick Holt, Thunder and Websons round out the rest of the championship. Yeah, no worries, Ted. See you next week, hopefully, if Cryptek's barely been here. He joined at the start, and then he kind of left. Kind of like Ferrari in 2018. It's quite sad. But anyway, we're here for quali, not to talk about Ferrari's performance in 2018. 8.5 minutes left in qualifying. We have Tiger currently running in 7th place. He was about to finish a lap. Does he improve from his 30.1? Does improve, not by much though. Moves up into 6th place. Only just, look at the gaps there. 100th and 9,000th. Jetsy moves up a position, but Piero quickly beats that and moves 900ths behind Manuel. Goes up into 8th place. Aston Holland improved. That's Jetsy off at turn 1 again. Almost hit someone. I think that might have been Websons, who was going through turn 1. Could have been Piero actually. There are other drivers improving. I was too busy looking at turn 1. Someone's into the pits though. It is Manuel to put on a new fresh set of tyres. But I think their top 3 are kind of separating themselves from the McGann of Finn, who is the highest driver on the grid at the minute without using the Ferrari. We have a lot of Ferraris on this grid. Only 2 Renault Megans, and I think Wiggly Star's in the Honda. If I do that, there you go, Honda NSX. Best lap is a 30.4, 1.05 seconds off pole position. I do like that little graphic. We can click on anyone and have a look at their helmet as well. Tim running traditional Finnish colours of white and blue for his nice helmet design. Currently just under a 10th off pole position. Running in P3, and you can see the traffic that is forming up in front. It almost looks like the scene from Cars. You've got Dinoco blue, Chickix green, and Lightning McQueen red going into turn 1. 3 colours of Toussaint, Bonnie and Tiger. Had to think there about who the blue was. Quickly remembered that these guys were running very similar liveries indeed. Aston improves on his time. It's good enough to go into 14th place, which isn't quite last. 4/10 off Holland at the minute, 2 seconds off provisional pole. But this track is all about pushing the limits. Someone who is trying to push the limits, Toussaint, is a 10th up and is leading this slipstream train. So who knows what Tiger and Bonnie, they could be on for some seriously competitive laps if they're going to be able to keep up with Toussaint, who's purple by over a 10th. Rick Holt goes up into 9th place and sets a competitive time of a 30.1. Sorry, I was just double checking that my audio was still working. Apparently we had issues last week that my audio cut out halfway through, and that was, I don't know, I need to watch that one back and see when it went. But here we go, Dutchy around the final corner. Is he going to improve on his current personal best? No, he doesn't. He comes into the pits. Our attention swiftly turns to your Season 1 GT Sport champion, Toussaint 0208. Can he knock Dutchy off provisional pole position, gain an extra position on the grid? Bon Evil's gone wide at the final corner, but Toussaint just misses out on his personal best by a 10th. Tiger Assassin moves up into 4th place. That slipstream aiding him in the lap. That sets a 1:29.8. Wiggly Star improves, goes up into 10th place, just less than a 10th off of Rick Holt's time. The only Swede on the grid the only Honda on the grid as well. Currently running 10th place in the qualifying session with just under 5 minutes left to go. We've got a few drivers on outlaps. Someone who I know won't be improving is probably Bon Evil, unless they have an extraordinary third and fourth sector. As you can see, 2.5 seconds down, after going wide at the final corner. Out of all the places to make a mistake, the final corner is definitely the worst, as it compromises your line and your run for the rest of your next lap, I should say. With 4 minutes 20 left to go, I think everyone's probably going to be into the pits if they have not already. Manuel running a little bit wide on the exit of turn 3, lucky not to pick up a penalty there. His teammate going maybe too deep into turn 4, or just letting his teammate go through, possibly waiting for the slipstream on the next lap. Hello everyone in the chat. Sorry, I just need to stay hydrated, otherwise I will die during this race, as we've evidently seen throughout the season. What race was it? I think it was the Red Bull Ring. I had to go after about 5 laps because the racing was that intense. I didn't bring a drink with me, but stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. Dutchy is about to start his lap. Now I think could be towing someone. It looked like he was towing Piero there. Bon Evil comes out of the pits. So it looks like Piero's going to set a time. Let's do an on-board with the Frenchman. Currently in 7th place, 1,000th behind Finn. Braking just under the little arch, the tyre arch thing, going into turn 2. I don't know what the technical term is. Hooks up nicely through turn 2. You want to use up all the curb on the right-hand side here, as much of it as you can. Nicely done from Piero. Let's have a look at his second sector split. Going through turn 4, a really awkward corner when you want to start wide, but not go too wide, so you can get good momentum down the straight. A 10th up on his time, that will be good enough for a competitive lap actually, especially through the second sector. The technical stuff is yet to come. Another sector split, has lost a 10th on exit. That just goes to show how weird the sector splits can be on this track. We'll just have to wait and see if that is true or not. The sector splits are really awkwardly placed, as you can hear the tyres screaming from the underside of Piero's Ferrari. Current time looks good, takes all the curb on the inside. You want to kind of brake at that meter board, which is backwards for some reason. Just improving on his time, it will be enough to beat Finn. I don't know how much further it will be good enough to go. We'll just have to wait and see as Piero brakes at the meter board. Don't know what meter board it is, or if it's a meter board or just a board, as Piero now makes his way down the start-finish straight up to the line. Where can he place his Ferrari on the grid? I've opened up the chat by accident. Doesn't improve by 13 hundredths. Maintains 7th place for now. Play Dutchy's about to start one of his times. Let's have a look at drivers coming around the final few corners. Finn in the Renault Megane, currently running in 6th place, only just in 6th place. Can he excel himself further? It doesn't look like it, considering the lap time. He's 1.2 seconds down and we'll be going for another run. Let's have a look at this man, your championship leader, 2-time GT Sport champion. Rick Holt improves, doesn't quite go into the top 8, but Play Dutchy's 1 3/4 up on his time. This could be quite the lap. He's 3/10 up on his lap time. He's got Piero's slipstream, so cross-team orders here, it seems. I don't know if this is planned, if Piero's actually on the lap, or if he's helping out Dutchy here. The previous Super League teammates from the F1 League. 55 seconds left to go. Not many drivers are going to get another lap in. He's still 3/10 up. There's a meter board in the middle of the track. Play Dutchy, though, is about to improve even quicker on his current 1:29.3. We'll have to wait and see what the likes of Toussaint can do, who's coming up to the line now. He's not going to be improving on this lap. Tiger does improve with a 1:29.6, but what does Dutchy do? It's a 29.2. Improves by a 10th, goes a 10th clear of the rest of the field. Bon Evil goes up into 5th place with a 1:29.6. Tim, though, narrows the gap down to just a 10th of the 29.3. I think almost identical to what Dutchy done, but he's gone off at turn 1. I don't know if that was him bailing or him making a mistake. I say it's more likely a mistake, as these are going to be the final laps in quali. Finn improves, goes up into 8th place. Anyone who crosses the line now, this will be well, that'll be their qualifying over. We've got a few drivers coming up to the line. Aston's one of them, goes with a 1:31.1. I can't... It doesn't let me change to the guys outside the top 10 for some reason. Hopefully that changes for the race. But we've got Tiger and two Saints slipstreaming one another. I'll see if I can use the controller to see who's coming around the final corner. It is Webson's on his final lap, currently in 14th place. Can he put his Ferrari any further up the field? He does so, moves up one position, goes up into 13th place with a 30.6. Meanwhile, Tiger and Hussein coming around the final corner now. Can they put either car on the front row of the grid? Can they get pole position here at their home Grand Prix? We'll have to wait and see. Hussein puts it on pole position by 2/10 clear of Dutch. It's a 29 flat, so close to the 28. What a lap from him. Tiger doesn't improve on his time, but gave the ultimate slipstream to his teammate, who knocks Dutchy off pole position. And I think this is Hussein's first pole of the season at his home Grand Prix. What a track to do it at. We've got Finn going up to the line now. He doesn't improve, narrowly misses out on his personal best. And that is qualifying over. It's going to be Hussein on pole position, followed by Dutchy, who will start alongside him on the front row of the grid. Tim will start in third place, followed by Tiger Assassin alongside. Bonnie Evil in fifth, followed by Finn. Manuel in sixth, I think? Or was it Finn in sixth? Yeah, it's Manuel in sixth, followed by Pierre in seventh, Finn in eighth, Rick Holt in ninth, Wiggly Style in 10th, Dan Schneider in 11th, Jetsy in 12th, Webson's in 13th. It's not letting me change the drivers outside the top 10. Apologies about that. I'll hopefully try and get drivers outside the top 10 action. But here we go then. You can hear the engines roaring as we build to 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. And Tim's off to a really good start. Dutchy, a slowish start compared to his Finnish rival, as he's going to try and squeeze Tim to the inside. Tim down the inside and towards turn 1. They're going to go side by side on the exit. Willie's trying to work something around the outside. Tiger looking for a move down the inside. They're going to go 3 wide in towards turn 2. Tiger sends one to the inside. Dutchy losing positions. Rick Holt and Finn trying to make their ways round the outside. Bonnie off to a good start as well, getting ahead of Tiger. Manuel looks to send one down the inside of the British driver's home Grand Prix, forces him wide. Dan Schneider trying to work his way round the outside of his former teammate of Jetsy in the Lightning McQueen livery. Toussaint though is going to be vulnerable out the front of this train, down the longest straight on the track. The exit of turn 4 into 5. He's going to be weaving to break the slipstream, I'd imagine. You can see there, Tiger now trying to make his way down the inside of Manuel. That René Magad really lacking in straight line speed. It's the cornering where he has to make up all his time here, especially at a track like Brands Hatch. He goes to the inside. He's not close enough to get a move done. Finn trying to make places on the scarlet red Ferrari of Rick Holt, currently running in 9th and 8th place. Currently unable to make the move down, but all 15 drivers making it through the first half of the lap cleanly. No incidents that I'm aware of. Everyone starting this race on the medium compound tyres, the yellow striped tyre. Most of the drivers starting this race in the Ferrari, besides the 2 Renaults and the 1 Honda. But for Toussaint is going to be leading at the end of lap 1, followed by Tim, Dutchy, Bonnie Evil are your top 4. Tiger now running out your top 5, followed by Manuel, Pierre, Rick Holt, Finn, Dan Schneider, Jetsy, Wiggly Style, Webson's, Aston and Holland Campion and Aston. I'm just going to leave the spectator cam and go back into it to see if I can get to the drivers outside the top 10. Let me do that and that. Still doesn't let me, so unfortunately I'll just have to change between keyboard and controller. But Toussaint's pulled out a sizable lead here, 7/10 at the start of this race. That could be crucial if he can get the gap outside of the slipstream window. Meanwhile, Manuel is closely following Tiger Assassin in his pursuit for 5th place and some crucial championship points. That lack of straight line speed though really hindering him at this circuit. Finn was able to get past Rick Holt somewhere in the lap. Rick Holt's going to try, Finn's now going to try and challenge the back of Piero for 7th place. He's making moves after his qualifying performance. Let's just have a look further down the grid. We've got a nice close and contested battle between Wiggly Websons and Holland Campion. for 12th place. Aston just bringing out the rear of the grid. The whole grid, 15 drivers separated by 8 seconds. That just shows how close this grid is. I accidentally took a screenshot, but here goes Holland Campion trying to work something around the outside of Webson's. Not enough room to do so. Meanwhile, back out in front, 2.7 lead is staying fairly consistent. Tiger's dropped to 1.2 seconds behind Bon Evil. If he wants to try and get back in the slipstream, he's going to have to find a few more tenths. Here goes Rick Holt, sending one down the inside of Finn in towards turn 2. Can he make the move done? Does get the job done. They make their way through turn 3, down the Cooper Straight, in towards turn 4. And the thing I like about this track is its corners are named after drivers, I believe. It's quite an interesting fact. There you go, there's your X90G fact of the week. Manuel is 2.5 tenths behind Tiger Assassin, the battle for 5th place at the minute. He's doing really well to keep up with the Ferrari. I think Tiger's trying to close down that gap to Bon Evil, try and help his teammate out, who's currently leading this race. Here we go, we can see more of the action now. I don't know what's going on with my keyboard today, but it's really not playing ball. Here goes Finn, he's closing behind Pierre, he's closing really quickly through the final corner. I can't change camera angle now, might try and unplug it and replug it. He's going to look for a move down the inside. He isn't quite close enough. Hopefully the replay feature that works. The replay feature doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Of course it doesn't. The keyboard's effectively useless. We can just flick between 2nd and 6th, for example, without having to go through everyone. That's the only thing I can do now. I can't wait for GT7. Hopefully they fix everything. Here goes Manuel. Is he going to look for a move down the inside? Not quite close enough, but he's going to use the acceleration and the cornering speed that Renault Megane has to offer to try and work his way up the field. Let's have a look further down. Webson's has lost a little bit of time to Wiggly Style. 2.3 seconds is the gap between those two. I think that's the biggest gap throughout the grid. Tim is keeping that gap consistent to say if he's gaining now through turn 4. I keep pressing buttons by accident. And it keeps doing things I don't want it to do. But Tim has closed that gap to within the slipstream range. We are running realistic slipstream, which is about 6-7 tenths of a second. To get at least some slipstream. Obviously, the closer you are, the more effective it will become. Dutchy's almost outside of that window, but he could be saving the fuel. Tiger Assassin is closed within a second of Bon Evil in the hunt to try and close down to the top 4. Piero picking up a 5/10 penalty and is under pressure from Rick Hull and Finn behind. This is the battle for 7th place on the circuit. We're on lap 4 out of 35, about to start lap 5. Someone's coming to the pits, and it's Manuel from the medium tyres. I think he knows the little trick. Finn and Manuel, I know the trick about this circuit. I think you can see, if you haven't clocked it, it takes 2 to 3 seconds for the car to go into the pits and not long for them to come out. And we saw their strategy work wonders in Willow Springs. Are we about to see the same thing here today? To sum it up for you, ladies and gentlemen, it's the pit for the soft compound tyres whilst everyone's on the mediums and try and push out like hell on those softs. You can see Manuel's already making moves on Aston for 13th place. Everyone on these medium tyres are going to be slower, and the aim of the strategy is to catch them on your soft tyres whilst they are still on the mediums. Meanwhile, these guys out front are battling for the podium position. Toussaint, Tim and Play Dutchy. I'm sure Tiger and Bon Evil will be joining the fight pretty shortly, as there is the gap. You can see Piero between Tiger, the 2.2 seconds is the gap where Manuel and Finn will be slotting in between when everyone else makes their pit stop. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone copies their strategy. It worked wonders in Willow Springs. Manuel was able to secure a P2 finish. Here goes Finn, looking for a move down the inside of Aston into Westfield. I think it's called Westfield. Gets the job almost done. That's someone off. That's Webson's. Does he have damage? Doesn't have damage. He's just letting everyone go through, it seems. Maybe made a mistake. Manuel, though, is already going wheel to wheel with Holland Campion. There's a little bit of contact between the two. That Tiger Assassin is into the pits. Currently running 2nd place in the championship. Is taking a leaf out of the two Renault Megane's books. and is going for their same strategy. He's been able to come out ahead, just ahead, and that's Wiggly Style going for a spin down at turn 1. I'm going to assume he's gone onto the gravel, and that's unsettled the rear of the Honda, and he now finds himself in last place. So unfortunate for him. I don't think he's got damage though. He was able to keep it out of the wall. I got so distracted with this battle here for 9th place. This is a crucial fight for 9th place. Manuel looked to send one down the inside, but we have 3 drivers on the alternate strategy. Let's see who's going to be able to make the most of it. The way this has to work, Tiger has to gain 13 seconds before the leaders come into the pits. That's the way this strategy works, because these guys are on mediums, these guys are on the softs. They're going to be lapping quicker, but they have to push every lap. It has to be quali lap after quali lap after quali lap. Hopefully Manuel, I say hopefully, if he wants this strategy to work, he can't be fighting Tiger too much as he goes down the inside, 6 and nose, and there's contact between the two. I think he's almost forced his way through there. I think he tapped Tiger's left rear. I'm not sure Tiger's going to be particularly happy about that one, but he moves his way up into 9th place. He doesn't concede the position. Rick Holt also into the pits, so we've got 4 drivers now potentially following the same strategy as the cars around him, pitting for a set of what I can only assume is the soft compound of tyre, and then you can pit for another set of soft compound tyres when everyone else is on the softs. But to be honest, they've lost a lot. They've lost time doing that move. They lost about 4 tenths in that move, so maybe it's just smarter to work together rather than fighting each other when you're on the same aggressive strategy. That's the way the strategy works. You've got to clear the slugger cars as quickly as possible. You can't waste time fighting each other. Meanwhile, the front guys aren't going to be worrying about that too much. There's 3 tenths separating the top 3. All 3 of them are technically in the championship fight. 2 of them are GT Sport champions. And you could say Tim is in a GT Sport champion sandwich, as he's currently tucked closely behind 2 Saints Ferrari. 3 Ferraris make up the top 3, technically make up the top 7. And Von Evil behind, 3.1 seconds behind the podium positions, with a 5/10 penalty. Dan Schneider also with a 5/10 penalty. They have the whole race pretty much to serve it. If we had penalty gates, I think I'd be turning them on. It just makes getting a time penalty even more punishing rather than serving it in a braking zone. Dan Schneider is into the pits, so we've got different drivers on so many different strategies. Meanwhile, this fight for the lead is going to plough on through. Tim's going to look for a move down the inside and towards turn 2. Toussaint left the door open. He's able to cover himself up from the Dutchman behind. But for how much longer? Dutch, got a good exit. I think he's saving fuel though. You can see he's losing time in the straights. You can see the Delta Tiger is losing. Dutch is losing time to Tim. I was too busy looking at the battle for 7th place on the leaderboard. Is Dutchy going to go for a move on Tim here? I can't actually change to an onboard. Have I got to do it this way? I've got to do it that way. That's such a pain. Currently in 3rd place. At this rate, his championship lead, well, he will be extending his championship lead, seeing as his nearest rival is down in 8th place. But on the alternative strategy, this is so annoying having to do this every time. The joys of a broken keyboard. But the front 3, that's going to be a battle to watch, but I don't think we're going to get any action just yet. Manuel, Tiger and Finn caught up to the back of Jetsy. I'm just going to unplug my keyboard and re-plug it in just to see if that makes a difference. Hopefully we can get things like the replay feature working again. Let's turn it on. What am I doing? There we go. Meanwhile, we have a battle here for 6th place. Apologies about the technical difficulties. Manuel trying to go for a move down inside of Jetsy. There's a bit of contact between the two. Now Tiger has got to try and make his way through. Yes, it's working. Thank you. Thank you. Jetsy covering the door though. Not allowing Tiger to go through. He's losing a lot of time here. He's going to try and send one to the inside. It's not close enough though. I think he's getting frustrated at losing the position to Manuel. but we've got a wheel-to-wheel action for the lead of the race. Tim and Toussaint going wheel-to-wheel. He's going to tuck back into the slipstream though. That's might leave him vulnerable to Dutchy, but I think they're saving fuel. Let's have a look at the fuel. If anything, Toussaint's actually got the least amount of fuel, and he's currently in the lead of this race. They're pretty much pushing each other in through this one. Tiger Assassin though trying to go down the inside of Jetsy down in towards turn 5, gets the move done. And a hello, Clansaw. Is that how you say your name? Welcome to the stream, and thank you for joining our Discord server. Dutchy got past Tim in the attempt to try and say the name. We've got the replay feature back. Woohoo! Let's see what happens to Tim here. He dipped a wheel into the grass. He drifts it beautifully. Concedes the position though. Dutchy around the outside, but you've got to say congrats to Tim for holding that drift. And there you go. That if anyone wants drifting lessons, then I think BHR Attenborough is your guy to ask. Here goes Finn now to the inside of Jetsy on the alternative strategy. Those fresh softs really coming into play. Set the fastest lap of the race on lap 6 with a 28.8 and is flying in this one. Meanwhile, the gaps out in front have extended due to the little bit of battling that has been going on. 1.2 seconds separating Manuel and Tiger Assassin, the top two drivers on the new strategy. I say the new strategy, the strategy that's only been attempted by 2 drivers, and we've only seen it in one race, and that was at round 6 at Willow Springs, the first round of Group 4. So interesting that they tried it then. Brave for the first round. I guess you've got to take risks. It's if you don't take risks, then you might not know if it's going to be worth it in the future. If it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You've got to take these. You got to make these decisions. Take the risks. Otherwise, you're not going to improve. You're not going to make your way up the championship. I really don't know what I'm saying at this point. It's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen. Tiger Assassin running a little bit wide through the medium speed right-hander. I really forget a lot of these corner names, but it's turn 7 because there's only 9 corners. It's really easy to negotiate corners around this track because there's only 9 of them. Piero pulls off into the pits on lap 10 from the medium compound of tyres. 52 litres of fuel remaining. These cars, I think, has 20 laps of fuel in the car stock. Well, that's a full tank anyway. Meanwhile, Toussaint's pulled out a 1.1 second advantage over your championship leader, currently running in second place. Toussaint has got a lot less fuel. He's got less fuel compared to the guys around him. Apologies, I said he has more fuel earlier. Or I think I said he has less fuel, but I think he said he saved fuel, which I don't know why. It's been a long day. It has been a long day. Manuel though is kind of catching on Bonnie. That gap is 2.3. But if you remember when these guys pit, the gap was 13.5 seconds to the leader. It's now 8.4. And the crucial moment in the race is when the leaders pit. Someone's off at turn 1. We can actually see who it is at the back. It's Holland Campion. We can get a replay. See what happened with the Dutch driver making his way down the start-finish straight. We're going to ride on board. Crosses the start-finish line on lap 11. Does he dip a wheel into the grass? Too wide. Looks late on the brakes. It was late on the brakes, but he keeps it on the track in a straight line at least, and is running down in 15th place. That gap out in front has come down from 1 second to 7 tenths. Dutchy could be putting the foot down in this one. Someone who could be putting the foot down is FGR Finn, who's gained on the back of Tiger Assassin, who could be struggling on those soft compound tyres. One Evil's into the pits from the mediums. I think the strategy was working, but I think the more people that try it, the less effective it's going to be. But you never know, Bonnie might be going on to a set of softs and super softs. The tyre regulations stating that you have to use the medium soft and super soft throughout the course of the race. When you use them and what order you use them is up to you. And however many you use, it's up to you as well. The main strategy we've seen is the medium soft to super soft, the one that's been the most effective per se. But the new strategy that we're seeing is the medium soft super soft, which is actually something that I did not think of. To be honest, someone's off at turn 1. Who is it? I don't actually know who it was. I think that's Rick Holt. Let's go to the guy in 11th. Rick Holt going through turn 1. Dips his rear left onto the grass, and that's a really aggressive spin from the Ferrari driver. And I also noticed he had some side pod damage as well. Obviously, it doesn't account to anything performance-wise, but I saw the scratches and the grains on the side of his Ferrari. Let's go back down to him. Someone's off. Is that Tim off? That was Tim going wide at turn 7. We can get another replay. Mistakes being made in the first third of this race. A little bit deep, cut the corner. I think he just took that one with too much speed. And unfortunate for him, Dutchy's into the pits and will be attempting an undercut on his championship rival from the medium tyres. Tim now drops 3.3 seconds behind the race leader. Dutchy is in for a set of the soft compound tyres, I can only assume, puts in enough fuel which should take him near to the end of the race. I think he's going to put in 60 litres, which should take him about 12 laps, and then he can pit for fuel when he needs to come into the pits. Finn, though, trying to make moves on Tiger Assassin for 4th place. Tiger kind of in a Renault Megane sandwich here. Team orders might come into play here. Manuel could be backing Tiger up to let Finn go through. But they're still 8 seconds behind the leaders. They're not gaining much of an impression on the front two. If they're to make this strategy work, it's a gamble, and one worth making. Whether it's going to pay off, we'll just have to wait and see. But race leader Toussaint currently hasn't made a stop yet. The front two, I think, are the only drivers, along with Jetsy, who hasn't made a pit stop yet. I think everyone else has pitted at some point, some phase during the race. We're on lap 13 out of 35. Quickly making our way through this Grand Prix. Hello for everyone in the chat. Hope you're enjoying this race. You might think it's died down slightly, but just you wait till we get to the end of the race where everyone's on the same compound tyres, low fuel, and they're really pushing it. Toussaint stays out for another lap. No, he doesn't. He does. Tim's into the pits. So Toussaint carrying on the medium compound tyres. Dutchy's 8. No, he's not. He's 3.7 seconds behind Finn. So I guess you could say the strategy's kind of worked for them, depending on what Dutchy's doing. If he's going for a set of super softs after this, then it hasn't worked unless these guys go for a super soft set of tyres after this stint. Let's have a look at the gap to the leader from Dutchy. It's 12 seconds. And it's coming down. I think Toussaint needs to pit, otherwise I don't think he's going to maintain the lead of this race. Someone's coming out of the pits. It's Jetsy coming out. He could actually be going wheel to wheel, but Jetsy in towards turn 1. No, Dan Schneider, and it's who's that? Rick Holt's gone off at turn 1 once again. I accidentally clicked the wrong replay feature for the wrong button for the replay feature, so it's going to be a slightly longer feature here, where you can see more. So you can see Jetsy in the pits on the right hand side. You can see his Ferrari coming out. You can see the dents on the right rear of Rick Holt's Ferrari. Was there contact? Oh, there wasn't contact. He just dipped the rear left onto the AstroTurf, and that's what unsettled the car. Meanwhile, going back up to the battle for 2nd place. That was a smooth transition. I'm getting better at going from replay features to the actions. So many buttons. But these guys are separated by, well, not much, a second separating these 3 drivers. You could probably throw a blanket over them. Your race leader, Toussaint, is in through the pits from the medium tyres. That promotes Manuel, Tiger and Finn into your new top 3. And if we were to have a red flag or a cancellation of the race, these would be the results that would stand, I guess. An interesting podium, one that we've never seen before. Manuel, Tiger and Finn, a combination that is would be new to the league. Tim has come out just behind Piero there, so there's a car in between Piero and Toussaint. Toussaint has lost time to Dutchy, though. Here goes Tim down the inside of Piero. This should be an easy move for him. Fresher tyres, the superior grip advantage gets up into 6th place, but you can see the gap. Toussaint's lost 7 seconds by staying out. Crucially, he's going to have the quicker tyres at the end of the race. Hello, Wolfie, in the chat as well. But that I don't know. Maybe Toussaint should have pit the lap after Dutchy did. We just have to wait and see how much time it cost him, because we saw Tim make that mistake and he's come out just behind Toussaint. He's 4 tenths behind the British driver at his home Grand Prix and is going purple. Dutchy currently has the fastest lap of the race, a 28.4. That was set on his last lap, lap 14. We're now on lap 15 out of 35. We've got 21 laps to go. And well, I think it's hard to say if Tiger's losing time to Manuel, if he's saving fuel, because he's got the least amount of, well, Manuel's got the most amount of fuel. He's got fewer laps than Finn and Manuel, who both dive it into the pits in unison, the two Renault Meganes in for their second pit stop from the soft compound tyres. That promotes Tiger up into the lead of the race, but has a rapidly closing Play Duchy in hot pursuit for the lead of this race. Manuel is onto a set of super soft, so is his teammate. This could be interesting to see if they go to the end on those sets of tyres. And interestingly, with the fuel, look how much Manuel's come out ahead of his teammate. There's about 3 seconds split between them, and also the blue and black Ferrari at Bonnie Evil in between the two teammates. So I'm sure with the fresher tyres, Finn is going to have the advantage in that fight. Someone who's going to have the advantage in this fight is Play Duchy, who's going to look for him to the inside of his fellow Ferrari driver. I think he's running in a higher engine mode though, as he's losing time as soon as he pulls out of the slipstream. Tiger's able to maintain the lead of the race for now, but this is good for Toussaint. If Tiger's staying out on this strategy, he's able to hold up Duchy and allow his teammate to close down that 7.4 second gap. That separates the two championship protagonists. The top three in the championship, or top four in the championship, are running 1, 2, 3, 4. However, Duchy and Tiger swapping positions, and I'm sure a lot of viewers will be hoping this is how the championship finishes. But Duchy, with the better grip, he's going to try and work something round the outside into the final corner. Can he make this one work? Tiger's going to close the door, but actually decides to come into the pits and decide that battle is not worth fighting. His battle is with the two Renault Meganes who are onto a set of super softs. I'm sure he would have seen the data, see the tyres go from red to purple, and he might be might follow in the same strategy, or he might go into another set of softs. Let's have a look here. He goes into the set of soft tyres, separating or splitting the strategy compared to Finn, who has Bonnie Evil just in front of him on those fresher tyres. He's going to make look at their grip and the acceleration speed through turn one. Is going down the inside. Can Bonnie hold this one round the outside? But I think with the tyre advantage, the car advantage down in the corners, the Renault Megane of Finn moves his way up into 6th place with a beautiful move, well executed, and is now 1.2 seconds behind his teammate. Tiger Assassin playing the team game superbly well. That gap out in front has closed down to 6.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Webster is going to come out of the pits wheel to wheel with Wiggly style. He's going to try and go for a move on Dan Schneider here to the inside of turn 2. The door was left wide open. There was a little bit of door banging between the two, but Wiggly makes his way up into 12th place. Dan Schneider was contemplating on going for a move down the inside, decides to back out of it in the end, and just concede 12th place for now. But that gap out in front is now extending up to 5.6. Toussaint make a mistake maybe? Let's have a look at a replay, because the gap was much bigger before. Did he go wide here maybe? No, it could just be Duchy's insane and unfair with pace, some might say. Absolutely speedy McSpeed is the Dutchman. He's only lost one race this season. Dan Schneider's got damage. Dan Schneider has got damage. Where did that come from? Replay feature's not going to go that far back, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, Tiger Assassin's going to send one to the inside of turn 2 and Bon Evil. I think that might have been an orchestrated move, because that just looked too easy for the Brit. Let's have a look through turn 1. He just had so much more grip, so much more confidence into turn 2. Yeah, if someone tries telling me that was not orchestrated, I would disagree. That seemed way too easy. Bonnie left the door wide open and let Tiger go through there. Interesting tactics we're seeing here. Quite a few cross-team orders, you might say. Cross-team tactics. Bonnie's fight is not with Tiger in this race. Tiger's on those fresher tyres. He will be pitting for super softs. Bonnie has to pit for super softs in the next few laps. So there's no point fighting, although it would help his strategy if he held up the three stoppers, sorry. We're halfway through this race though. Duchy starting lap 19 out of 35. And we have Tim 4 tenths behind Toussaint in the battle for second place as things stand on the track. Pierre is into the pits with damage. Does anyone else have damage in this fight? So he might have... I don't know what happened to Pierre there. Don't know where everyone's getting the damage from. Interesting. Manuel though, 14 seconds off the lead of the race on those super soft tyres. can actually pit for another set of super softs or softs, depending on how long he decides to take those tyres. Let's have a look back out in front. Two Saints setting a purple sector 2, but Dutchy's extending the gap to 7 seconds. Absolutely incredible pace, you have to say, something that's not been faulted all season. To be fair, the gaps are starting to open up slightly across the grid. Aston's in and out of the pits onto a set of super soft tyres. The purple striped tyre, the quickest tyre, but the one that doesn't last the longest. In fact, it has the highest tyre degradation of the lot. The closest battle on track is the battle for 12th place, besides the battle for second between Websons and Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider, though, compromised with the front right suspension damage, as well as the front bumper damage. That's going to cost him a lot of time as well. Dutchy starting at 20 out of 35, 16 laps to go. Tim in hot pursuit of one of his championship rivals, only about 13 points behind, I think. But in this race, only 3 tenths behind, going through turn 1. Meanwhile, it's interesting to see how this strategy is working, because these guys are not gaining enough time on the front 3 if they're to get a podium in this race. The gap is still about 14 seconds. Tiger Assassin, I think it's fair to say this isn't a bad thing, but I think he's been the biggest loser out of the lot. That's not me saying he's been slow or it's been bad on his behalf, but I don't know what's. I mean, we'll have to wait until the checkered flag is waved on lap 35, because he's currently running in 6th place, 1.9 seconds behind Finn. Yes, the 2 guys in front have to pit again, and Tiger has to pit for super softs, but Finn and Manuel are free to pit onto whatever tyre they choose. They've used the 3 mandatory sets. Could be that Tiger just doesn't have the pace around Brands Hatch compared to the pace that we've seen throughout this season and the previous few seasons as well. Usually he's fighting up the top with the likes of Toussaint and Dutchy. But I think it's fair to say that this man has been on a whole new level compared to most of the drivers on the grid this season. Look at that damage from Websons. He's definitely been at war with the rear left of his car. Dan Schneider in 13th. Could be where he got the damage from. Interesting though that Websons didn't get damage and that Dan Schneider didn't come in to repair it. Just having a look at the lap times, I would guess somewhere between lap 13 and lap 15, where he set 32s and a 36, so that could be where the damage was picked up from. Let me know on your guys' thoughts on this track. Brands Hatch, is it the best track in the UK, or are there other tracks that beat it? And do you think other British tracks should be in the game, like Silverstone, Donington, other tracks as well, Alton Park, Snetterton, or whatever it's called? I'd like to see Donington at least in the game next game. I don't think it will be though, unfortunately. I think GT7's keeping lots of the same tracks to everyone's sadness. Lap 21 of 35, it's going to be interesting here because Finn and Manuel can pit for super soft tyres. Tiger has to go in for the super softs. So, I mean, for their strategy to work, they need to be behind Tim now, effectively. Hasn't quite worked to the extent that I think they thought it would have. But you never know. Never say never. There's still plenty of laps left in this race. Plenty of time. Let's have a look here for a battle. I think we've got Websons and Wiggity are our closest battle on track for 11th place. Websons running in 12th. Points all around, except I don't know what we're going to do about Jitsu Kev. Sorry, Dan Schneider, because he's currently in 15th place. We'll give him an extra point, seeing as you get points all round. I'm sure we'll figure something out. That gap though is extended quite massively to 8 seconds now, on the cusp of 7.9. Dutchy's has found the pace out of nowhere. Was that a mistake? Was that a mistake from your race leader? Hang on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think I saw this on the mini-map. He's gone onto the curb. Oh, he's caught that well. That is 100% a brown trouser moment. And he's now 6 seconds. He's lost 2 seconds doing that. I'm sure the viewers enjoyed that. I don't think Dutchy did as much. I think we're all hoping he was going to end up backwards in the wall with a lot of damage and had to pit. But unfortunately that didn't happen. But a mistake is a mistake, and it's rare when we see one from the championship leader who has won 2 GT Sport championships prior to this season and is looking to win another one. His second mistake of the season, I believe. The first one coming in Alsace. There was damage in Suzuka. Yes, the first mistake since Suzuka, and that was at round 5. So Dutchy could be crumbling under the pressure here. Never say never. Like I said, we have to wait for that checkered flag to be waved on lap 35, which will see an end to this race, the penultimate race here in Group 4 before we head off to the Nürburgring next week, and then that's it for Group 4, and then we start a new chapter in Group 3 for the final 5 races of the season. Could be the final season of GT Sport. There might be enough time to get one more in after this one. We'll have to wait and see. Keep updated. Someone in the chat who was saying they're new to the server earlier, if you're still here, firstly let me know. It'd be great to see if you've stuck around for the race. Congrats if you have. Also, if you're interested in joining the league, we have space in the Group B Championship that takes place on Saturdays at 9:30 Central European time, 8 o'clock UK time. We need drivers to fill up the grid. Just send me a message, send me a few qualifying times of Group 4 Nürburgring, and then we should be able to get you in if you are not too slow. Basically, we have a 107% rule that they use in real life, which means if you're too slow compared to the fastest driver, then unfortunately we have to say goodbye. That's just to prevent the events that happened last season, which tragically cost Woody from winning the Group B Championship that season. But we actually have now a new battle on our hands for 14th place. Some might say the battle for the wooden spoon between replacement driver Holland Campion and full-time driver Dan Schneider. As you could say, all the drivers are in one massive thick Dutch sandwich. Dutchy leading, followed by a thick base layer of Rick Holland Campion and Dan Schneider, who I believe is on the fresher set of super soft compound tyres. Let's double check. He is on the set of super soft compound tyres, and will be quick on those tyres. I think it's fair to say the least. Holland stays out. Let's actually have a look at Let's have a look at the tyres. Holland is on a set of fresh softs and fresh super softs. I think the super softs are going to be quicker. For how many laps? We're running times 3 tyre wear, times 5 tyre wear, times 3 fuel depletion. Holland getting a little bit out of shape. Dan Schneider might try and send one down the inside. He wasn't close enough to. Sorry. I just need to stop for a drink. But we'll keep an eye on this battle as well. I think Tim and Tussell. Tim's made a mistake somewhere. That gap's opened up. Let's have a look. He's lost time before turn 1. Not sure what's happened to Tim there. He might have made a similar mistake to the one he made earlier on in the race. Meanwhile, Dan Schneider and Holland Campion go wheel to wheel in the run down towards turn 5. 2 Ferraris, 2 Dutchmen. Who's going to come out on top? They're still going wheel to wheel. Holland Campion, though, just gets the jump. I think Dan might have let him through there after a little bit of contact. Meanwhile, Manuel and Finn, 2 drivers on a charge, will be pitting again, though, for a set of super soft or soft compound tyres. I'd imagine it'd be the super softs for the remaining 10 laps. We'll have to wait and see. But Dutchy's gap is kind of stabilising now after the early mistake. 5.9 seconds is the gap. Someone's into the pits. Who is that into the pits? It's Wiggly Style into the pits and out on a set of super soft tyres. Comes out just behind Rick Holt and just ahead of Holland Campion, who's going to have the momentum going through turn 1. Having said that, though, he made a slight mistake. Dutchy's into the pits with no fuel. He could have even ran out on this stint. Toussaint follows him in. Tim decides to stay out this time and try the overcut attempt. Toussaint with the fuel advantage. He's going to be able to put in less fuel. Manuel's also into the pits, so is Finn. So these guys are effectively all now on the same strategy. Dutchy is coming out of the pits. Crucially for him, he's in clear air. You can see there Toussaint coming up behind. Tiger's into the pits onto a set of super soft tyres for Toussaint. It's super softs for Finn and Manuel. I'd imagine Tiger Assassin has to go to a set of super soft tyres. You can see does so. Now the fight is on. Tiger comes out behind Piero with 10 laps to go. Look how much Toussaint's closed down by saving that little bit of fuel. 4 seconds. Can he close it in 10 laps? He's going to have to gain 2 seconds. No, 5 tenths. 5 tenths a lap if he's to gain the time and win this race. A mistake from Dutchy will also help in his cause to do so. Holland Campion getting ahead of Dan Schneider. Oh no, he was always ahead. That's just Dan Schneider running significantly wide off the track, which made it look like they were going wheel to wheel. Meanwhile, we're all looking at the battle out in front. We're going to have a quick flick through the rest of the field. Wiggly Style closing on the back of Rick Holt, sorry, and that's Dan Schneider off at turn 1. Sorry about that. Let's just have an on board and see what's happened. Oh, it's got Webbs. It's coming out the pits. I think it was a bit put off by the Ferrari coming out of the pits. Tim, though, is coming into the pits. That promotes Dutchy and Toussaint up into the front 2 positions. Is he going to come out in 3rd place, though, or is Manuel going to get the job of him? That was an interesting pit exit. Kind of just rubber banded out back onto the track on this set of super soft tyres. Currently running in 3rd place has Manuel and Finn closely behind for company. Tiger Assassin will be trying to close the gap to Piero, who's on a worn set of super soft tyres. Should get the move done pretty shortly, you would imagine. Going through turn 3, you can just see the grip and the cornering speed that the Tiger has on those superior super soft tyres. Is he going to go for a move here? I wouldn't have thought so, but I think turn 5, I think he's going to get the move done. He's about he's a 10th going through the corner exit. He's now alongside the Frenchman. They're going to go wheel to wheel down the back straight. I think you can call it a back straight. Hasn't quite got the straight line speed, but he's got the grip. He's got the bravery under the brakes to be the later one out of the 2 on these fresh super softs. Goes up into 6th place and now can hunt down the 2 Renault Meganes. Toussaint setting purple sectors in his charge to try and take the lead of this race. Away from play Dutchy, the gap 4 seconds. Dutchy's off! Biblical scenes and the moment we've all been waiting for, the moments we've all been praying for in our dreams. It's finally happened. A mistake from play Dutchy, one that rarely ever happens, but he dips a wheel onto the grass. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not biased, but what a beautiful sight to see. Play Dutchy is down in P3 after a mistake at the final corner. The chat is going wild. Your championship leader bottling it. Is this the Lewis Hamilton GT Sport, the GT Sport, the Lewis Hamilton version of the? No, I've messed. I really messed that one up. Is this the GT Sport Lewis Hamilton I was supposed to say? I'm not saying Hamilton's bottling the championship. Some might say that Mercedes have conceded points where they could have potentially extended their lead. Let's just put it that way to avoid arguments. But Dutchy is now 5.6 seconds off the lead, 2.5 behind Tim, and I don't think Tim is going to give this one up without a fight. All the front 2 need to do now is keep it on the track. We have yellow flags ahead. I think that's for Dan Schneider and Holland Campion, who's off the track. Let's have a look and see what happened here. Dan Schneider's got damage, and as he rejoins the track, that was close. I think the ghosting system stopped them from crashing, but the ghosting system couldn't avoid Holland from having to take avoiding action. Both drivers coming to the pits, both in 14th and 15th place. Let's have a quick look at the chat, because I'm sure Everyone's blowing up, having seen the sight of Dutchy making a mistake. But these two are going to come out right in this battle for 5th place. Dan Schneider gets out of the way nicely for the two Renault Meganes. Tries to get out of his way for Tiger Assassin, goes into the grass. Fair play, I guess, onto the grass. Another way is better than parking it on the apex, I would imagine. Dutchy's made another mistake. Look at the time he's lost. He's now 7 seconds behind the leader. He's now 7 seconds behind Hussein, and Manuel is now fighting Dutchy for a podium position on those super soft tyres. Dutchy's throwing this one away. I don't know what's happened in the 3rd phase of this race. With only 7 laps to go, sorry. Could he lose another position to Manuel and possibly even Finn if he can't keep his car on the track? He might have got held by blue flags. I'm not too sure. There's no damage to indicate he's hit a barrier. If he had hit a barrier, I think he would have lost a lot more time than he has. Tiger's lost time to Finn. He's now 4 seconds behind. Jetsy's doing really well for his first race of the season. Currently in 9th place, only 5 tenths behind Bon Evil. We've still got all 15 drivers on the grid. Action all the way throughout here in the penultimate race of Group 4. Dutchy in the next few laps is going to be slightly aided by the slipstream of Holland Campion in front, but blue flags will require him to move out of the way, which I'm sure he'll do so nicely. But a good drive from Jetsy in this race. Started somewhere, I think. Well, he definitely started somewhere. I can't remember where he started. But he's doing well for his first race. Messaged me this morning, see if there was space, and seeing as Cryptek's not here, there's space for more drivers. It was supposed to be Ted who was going to be joining me, bailed out at the last minute, so I got Jetsy in, and as the race started, Ted was like, can I do commentary? And we'd already started qualifying, so unfortunate for there. But we're on lap 30 now out of 35. We've only got 6 laps to go, including the final lap. I believe this is our closest battle on the racetrack at the minute. Dutchy's kind of got his composure back a little bit. He's extending his gap behind, 1.7 seconds now separating him from Manuel. Bon Evil trying to extend the gap to Jetsy behind, trying to get it out of that slipstream range. It's borderline slipstream range, just over 8 tenths separating these two. Bonnie does have a 5-tenth penalty, which will round up, which will round up to a whole second. Someone's gone off ahead. Who's gone off ahead? Who is that who's gone off? It's Dan Schneider off at turn 6, and there's a nice shot of him spinning off into the gravel. When I say nice shot, it's not going to be nice for him. For a minute I thought Manuel was in 3rd place. I thought I was spectating Manuel and not Dutchy. But meanwhile, this is still the closest battle on track for the meantime. It's Bon Evil versus Jetsy. Jetsy in his first race of the season. Got to say, it's been a really impressive drive from him. Considering this is his first race of this season, not his first ever GT Sport race. He was here last season, has ran wide, he's done a Dutchy! 2 Dutch drivers doing the same thing, except it's come up a lot worse for Jetsy with rear aero damage. The commentator's curse has struck again, and well, it seems whenever I compliment someone, they seem to throw it away into the barrier, which is why I'm not complimenting either of the top 2. No, everyone has done a good job here tonight. Mistakes have been made, of course, that you expect that in racing. Mistakes happen. We've only had 2, I'd say 1 major bit of contact, but I wouldn't say you'd count it as a major incident. Between, I think it was Finn and Tiger, or Manuel and Tiger, was one of the Megans who launched one to the inside. But no damage, no one has forced off the track, which is why I'm saying it wasn't a major incident, but definitely not the cleanest one that we've seen all race. Wiggly Star was trying to pull out a gap to Webson's behind, currently 1 separate second separating those two. Dan Schneider not had the best of races here tonight, running in 15th place and 30 seconds behind Holland Campion. The gaps are beginning to open up throughout the course of the grid as we bring a close to this race here in Brands Hatch. Not long is left to go. As half the drivers are on lap 32, some of them are still on lap 31. If you're Dan Schneider, you're on lap 30, but he is about to start lap 31. Yeah, 31, sorry. Manuel might have made a mistake here because Finn's closed onto the back of him. Either that or Finn has some pace. Either that or there's team orders between the two Renault Megans. Either way, they're going to go wheel to wheel in the run down towards Hawthorne. Down the... I think it's called the Sterling... No, Sterling Slater. I can't remember what the straight's called. I want to say it's Pilgrim's Drop, but that could be the other straight after Sterling's. I can't quite remember the names of the straight. This is the corner called Sterling. As that was someone off, I was too busy looking at the corners. Who has actually gone off there? It's Tyler. No, that wasn't Tiger Assassin. Was that Holland Campion? It is Holland Campion, who's had a mare down at turn 7. Sorry. What's happened here? He's cut the corner on the inside. He's dipped the rear left onto the grass, and that's... Well, he's hit the front of the bumper onto the barrier. Ho, ho, ho. My best Sandrum pressure for you there. He only just missed Tiger there. Comes into the pits with front and rear damage. Tim has actually caught up a lot to Saint, who's leading this race. 1.3 seconds separating those two. Maybe Saint made a mistake, or Tim just has some extra pace. You can see there 1:28.1 compared to 28.7. Tim is rapid at the end of this race. Could he snatch a win away from the British drivers' home Grand Prix, the only British circuit in the game besides Goodwood? But this could be a dramatic twist in the tale to bring an end to this race here at Brands Hatch. Round number 9 out of 15 here in the season 4. And to think about it, had Tim not made those mistakes earlier on, he could be in a rapid position. He could probably be ahead of Toussaint had he not gone wide down at turn 7, which is the fast right-hander before Sterling's, where Holland had his incident. The gap's almost less than a second as we start lap 34 out of 35, the penultimate lap here, as we just clock over 50 racing minutes as well to add to the mix. It's been a great job from the two Renault Megane drivers. This looks like Tiger Assassin going in for an attempt of fastest lap. He's got the gap to Pierre behind, and I don't think he was closing in on Manuel and Finn in front. Let's have a look at their lap times. You can just see they were just quicker. There's not much you can really say about it. Tiger just didn't really have the pace on the super soft tyres to keep up with them. Someone who does have the pace on the super soft tyres though is this man, BHR Attengren. Finland versus Britain, two Italian cars. Who's going to come out on top and win this race here tonight? For once, it's not Play Dutchy who's running in third place after the earlier mistakes. 5 tenths separating the two drivers halfway through the final lap of the race. Penultimate lap, sorry. A few more drivers potentially coming into the pits. The fastest lap, Bon Evil in for the pits. That promotes Jetsi up into 8th place, who has rear damage. Stays out actually with the damage he got out the final corner. Meanwhile, the front two, 3 tenths separating, and we're going to have a last lap showdown here, ladies and gentlemen. So strap yourselves in, grab your popcorn, or if you have any popcorn left, because we're about to get racing here at Brands Hatch for one last lap. And it's the front two separated by less than 2 tenths as we start lap 35 out of 35. Tim almost pushing Toussaint as they go through the downhill kink of turn 1. Tiger, I think someone's making moves there. He's going to go for a move down the inside. The door was left open. There's a little bit of contact between the two. Toussaint's forced out wide, kind of, but has to concede the position. Tim promotes himself up into the lead of the race, but it's not going to be over yet. There's still plenty, well, I say plenty more corners. There's only 5 more corners left to go. That's crazy. 6 more corners, sorry. Here's one of them. A crucial corner to get right as all your momentum on this corner leads on to the back straight. Here we go then. What can Toussaint do? He's tucked into the slip room. He hasn't got the best of runs, as you can see he's gaining, but he's not gaining enough. Riding on board, he's not close enough to send one to the inside, as Tim is able to maintain the lead of this race, going through turn 5 in towards 6 and 7, where he made his earlier mistakes quite a few laps ago actually, and that's Toussaint running wide. That could be his race over for the lead. We're going to keep an eye on this because there's still plenty of, well, I say plenty, there's a few corners to still make mistakes. But it's been an absolutely crazy race here in Brands Hatch. Definitely not failing. Sorry, not. Yeah. No, I can't think of the words I'm trying to say, but we round the final corner for the final time, and after the earlier mistakes, it's been a stunning drive from this man who takes his first win of the season here at Brands Hatch. Toussaint will come across the line in second place. That's going to be good for him in his championship fight, as his championship rival Play Dutchy, drifting across the line in third place, rounds out the final podium position. A good day in the office for Finn and Manuel, crosses the line in fourth and fifth place respectively. Tiger Assassin's attempt for fastest lap is still on as he rounds the final corner in a set of super soft tyres. Low fuel, can he beat Dutchy's 28 flat and take a point away? No, he doesn't, but he does set a personal best and finish this race in sixth place. We do have yellow flags, but I believe those are for the leaders who span over the line, celebrating their finish. Pierre will take home a solid 7th place finish tonight. Bonnie Evil was able to jump Jetsy in the end on those fresher tyres in his attempt for the fastest lap of the race. Can he steal it away from Play Dutchy and take home an extra point? As someone, you can hear the tyres screaming from someone crossing the line. Finishes in 8th place, doesn't set the fastest lap, but sets a new personal best. Jetsy comes across the line in 9th place on his debut. Stunning job from him. Wrigley Style is just going to beat Webson's to the line. 1.3 seconds will be separating those two. Wrigley in 10th, Webson's in 11th. And last but not least, someone who's been quite quiet in this race, Aston F1 1996, rounds the final corner. I don't think we've had the camera on him once during this race, but he's not going to cross the line on camera. There he is, rejoining the track, and finishes in 12th place. But finally, there we have a new helmet, a new suit and a new name on the top step of the podium. From first place on the grid, Atim takes his first win of the season here at Brands Hatch, followed by Toussaint taking home a solid second place, capitalising on Dutchy's mistakes. There is your finishing grid once again. Tim takes home his first win of the season, followed by Toussaint and Dutchy in the podium. Bin in fourth, followed by Manuel in fifth, Tiger in sixth, Pierre in seventh, Bonnie Evil in eighth, Jetsy in ninth on his debut, Wiggly Style in 10th, Webson's in 12th, 11th, Ashton in 12th, Rick Holt in 13th, Holland in 14th, securing 1 point for Thunder, and Dan Schneider will take home an extra point for his championship fight in 15th place. Dutchy, though, will take home 22 points rather than 21 for setting the fastest lap of the race. I hope you guys have enjoyed as much as I have, because this is actually my final race in Group 4. I won't be here next Friday for the Nürburgring GP. I am away, but hopefully we could get post-commentary on Sunday if no one's available to do it on the Friday. So stay tuned for that. So this race next week could be on the Sunday. For the drivers, it'll be on Friday, but it could be streamed for the viewers on Sunday. Make sure to join us tomorrow for the Group B race here at Brands Hatch, where Wolfie will be looking to try and extend his championship lead. Ted will be looking to close the gap to his teammates, and join them guys next week as well for their championship. I don't know if I'll be there for that. If not, post-commentary will be there on Sunday as well. But it's goodbye from me at Brands Hatch, and if I don't see you at the Nürburgring, I'll see you in Spain for the first race in Group 3, which will take place 3 weeks from now. But enough waffling from me. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Twitch if you can, join our Discord server. Links should be down below in the description or at the bottom of the website if you are looking to join any league. We have F1 G Sport available. Make sure to tune in next week. Goodbye.